Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Welcome back to Granny Camp. It's another great summer day. I love coming out to my off-grid cabin and spending a lot of alone time, and it allowed me to think about what are all the different categories of prepping, and can you find those categories if you shop at Dollar Tree? The first category to stock up on is food. When you start stocking up on food, think about the strategy of you need open and eat foods such as canned soup, beef stew, chili, canned meats, things that you could just open and eat, snack foods, granola bars, foods that don't need any preparation. You could have a stockpile of them in your bug out bag, you could have a stash of them in your pantry, you can have them in your car kit. Easy grab and go, something to open and eat. Number one, if you're hungry. Number two, if you're in a hurry. And number three, what if you don't have a way to cook or prepare anything? You want some open and eat meals so that you can get on doing what you need to do. Then stock your pantry with several weeks worth of food that are easy to incorporate together to make a meal. They might require a little cooking, you might need to add water, and there are things like macaroni and cheese, pasta, spaghetti sauce. You can find a ready-made pizza crust, a jar of sauce. Some Dollar Trees actually have a refrigerator section. You can even find some cheese, but make sure you read it that it's not imitation or cheese food, that it's actually cheese. Pay attention to the food choices that you're making. Then think about the longest term food storage, the things like beans and rice, foods that'll last a very long time. Dried oatmeal, dried pasta noodles, those things can all be sealed up in a jar, in a Mylar bag, in a 5-gallon bucket, and they can last for decades. Check out the spices. It's a great way to buy spices for only $1 each, but don't buy ones that are combinations that are mostly salt. Stick to single ingredients like oregano or chili powder or cinnamon. And if you do want salt, look for the Himalayan salt. It's a great deal for $1. It's available in most major grocery stores for $4. The next category of prepping is water. You need to have water that you can grab and go, and you can drink it and have enough in a stockpile that if your water stops running or you're away from home or for some reason you don't have fresh water, you want to have some water on hand. You can buy the packets of water that you could hand them out to your family, keep one in your car, have them for a camp out, but you should also grab some of the gallon water jugs. They're in very sturdy containers. They're great to just stash away, pick one out if you need it. And then what about if that water runs out? What can you do? You can actually put together some water purification supplies from the Dollar Tree. Get some coffee filters. Then you can take one. Any water that you have to collect, like wild water, you can filter it through this. That'll filter out the debris. That doesn't make it safe to drink. Then you can grab a little bottle of bleach, a few drops at a time, depending on the amount of water that you have, and purify your water. I was glad to see they started carrying the small bottles of bleach, because bleach is something that isn't going to last for a long time, and so you're probably not going to need tons of bleach to filter your water. This is an easier size container to rotate for your emergency supplies. I was originally thinking maybe I could just dump this out and refill it, but then I looked at some of the other bleach containers that I've stored for a while, and the containers actually started to soften up and disintegrate also. So make sure you're rotating your bleach. It's not a set it and forget it prep. Next, you need some cooking supplies. Head over to the foil. Get lots of those Reynolds wrappers. I also recently started using the little foil dishes that come with a lid. You can separate them, make your meal in it, and even put it in the freezer. Then even if you're just going camping, you can take this out of the freezer, have it in your cooler for a few days, and when you get to camp, you can set it right into your Dutch oven in your campfire and cook it right in there. Then when you're done, there's absolutely no cleanup because your meal is already prepared in your foil container. Depending on the size of your crock pot, this also might be another way that you can have easy meals ready to go for your family, that you can just set it into the crock pot and let it heat up from frozen. Stock up on some paper plates, some disposable utensils, because in an emergency, if you don't have water, you don't want to use your precious little water washing dishes, you still need to be able to prepare and serve a meal. Then you also should make sure that you have plenty of garbage bags, because all of this eating and cooking and preparing makes a lot of trash. So make sure that you have a way to dispose of those things and keep them sealed up, especially if you're out in the woods in the summertime, because there are other critters who definitely want to get into your garbage, and you want to avoid that if you can. Also look for the tall white kitchen garbage trash bags, the drawstring if you can find them, because they are the perfect thing to put into your luggable loo or your portable toilet. Head over to the party aisle and look for the fancy heat. It's a little way to cook in a can. It's an alcohol stove. It's like sterno. You take off the lid, you light the little wick, and it burns the fuel inside, and these will burn for about 2 hours. If you can't find the fancy heat, you can always look for the stainless steel scrubbies. You can find them in a 2-pack. I've also seen them in a 3-pack. And what you do with these, make sure that they're the stainless steel, is you can put them in a clean small can like a tuna fish can, fill it up with some alcohol, and you can light it, and then it makes like a buddy burner. It's very simple, but it gets very hot, and I don't recommend that you ever try this inside. This would be something you would try outside. Then look over the kitchen tools. Do you have tools that you could use to cook outdoors if you needed to? Some of the nice fancy cookware and the utensils that we have in the house don't translate very well to outdoor cooking. So make sure that you have some basic supplies, metal utensils that you could use if you needed to cook over a fire. What about lights? The Dollar Tree has all kinds of candles. You can find the tall 80-hour candles. You can find battery-operated candles. You can find small ones. If you're going to use them for things like cooking, though, make sure that you get unscented candles. The last thing you want to do is heat up a can of chili over a lavender-scented candle or something. You don't want any scent or aroma to be added into your food. Plus, a lot of us just aren't fond of artificial scents in the air. If you needed to use candles as a light source in an emergency, you don't want to smell up your house if it's not necessary. One trick that I do with the tall 80-hour or religious candles is I put them in a mug, and then you have a surface that's holding it up, and then you have a handle that you can move it around if you need to. Look for strike-on-the-box matches and the long utility lighter. They also sell cigarette lighters. If you can find ones that are big, get those, because they seem to get a far better review than just the generic ones. The solar lights are great. They last nearly forever. I've had them outdoors in Alaska all winter long, even when they get buried in the snow, and then the snow melts, and guess what? There they are. I can find them because they're lit up again, unless, say, they got hit by the snow shovel or the snow plow. And they're awesome how long they last and can work. The solar lights are a great way to have some light indoors rather than burning candles. You need to make sure that either you've not activated them by pulling the little tab out, or that you've allowed them to charge up in the daylight. Because if you've already pulled the tab out and you have them sitting in a drawer, they're not charged up. They need to be able to sit in the sun for a while so that they can continue to work. Look over the battery-operated lights and flashlights. Sometimes you can find really nice ones, but lately the ones I saw did not appeal to me. But I have found some nice flashlights before, and even some little battery lanterns, and I wish I bought a whole bunch more of those. If you can find the big packs of batteries, like the 8-packs, that's still a deal. They may not be the very best batteries ever, but they last long enough, and you're certainly getting your money's worth if you can buy an 8-pack. What's the next category for prepping? First aid supplies. It's amazing all of the first aid supplies that you can find at the Dollar Tree. There's probably 150 categories of items. I don't really know, because it varies from store to store. But every time I go in there, I keep thinking, oh, do I need more of that? Or I've never seen this before. It is getting harder to find things for $1 at Dollar Tree, but always be on the lookout, because you can be pleasantly surprised from day to day and even from store to store if you have more than one in your area that you can go to. The next category is hygiene supplies. You can find everything you need: shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, hairbrushes, body lotion, foot cream, powders, even baby wash, baby powder, baby wipes. Stock up on those baby wipes, because everybody needs to be clean, and having a way to do that, whether you're out for the day or the water goes away, you want to have baby wipes to keep yourself clean and fresh as possible. The last time I went to Dollar Tree, a trip down the tool aisle was really a great experience because I was surprised how many things that they had. The options were great. Everything from rubber mallets for putting the lid on your 5-gallon bucket, screwdrivers, pliers, and then they also had all kinds of other things like zip ties, bungee cords, carabiners, paint brushes, all kinds of tools, tape measures, saws. Look things over and think to yourself, is there a tool here that I need that I don't have? But remember, these aren't going to be the top quality tools. If you're a handyman or you work in construction, you need to just pass by that aisle because those aren't going to be the standards that you need. But if you're just someone and you need to change the batteries in a child's toy, pick up the screwdrivers that fit those little tiny screws so that you can handle that task. There's all kind of ropes and twine. Get some rope for a clothesline. Pick up some clothespins so that if you ever need to hang your clothes up, you have a rope and some clothespins. I picked up some jute twine because not only does this work as a great fire starter, it's a handy cord when you just need a string. I plan to use it in my garden this year. I have some sticks I'm going to tie together with the jute twine to make some climbing trellises for my beans and peas. The store I visited had all types of different glues and adhesives. I picked up some super glue, some fix-all adhesive, and some tacky glue. Tacky glue is more for crafting, and I think it's washable even. So look over the glues, the adhesives, and see if there's something that you think, how could I use this? Do I have a task at home that needs to be repaired or something that I plan to do in the future? And you may be able to find some adhesive for that. They also have duct tape. It's not the top quality, but if you don't have any tape, that's good. They have things like Scotch tape. If you can get the real Scotch brand, get that. It's far better than the Dollar Tree brand. You're probably going to need to wash dishes whether there's an emergency or not. Pick up a bottle of Dawn dish soap. I bought also a couple of these black little washcloths for no other reason than if you're out at camp and everything is dirty, you can use this on your face and it doesn't look like, oh my gosh, look at all the dirt that came off, like you would if, say, you had a white one. You're still going to dry yourself, and yes, the dirt is still going to be there, but it isn't going to be as obvious, and you might feel better about being able to clean up at camp. I also like these dish drying towels. It's like a mat. You put it on after you wash the dishes, you lay it on here to dry. And they're fold up because it's just like a extra thick spongy towel. So these were great. One of the areas of prepping is sustainability. If you can find some garden seeds, pick them up. Look for vegetables, especially if you can find ones that are heirloom, because the heirloom seeds are the ones that will continue to produce the plant that you can harvest the seeds and continue to plant them again. You can collect the seeds off of the produce that you provided at the end of the summer. Some of the just GMO or newfangled seeds, the seeds have been genetically modified to produce for 1 year so that the company can sell you more seeds. What do these have in common? Cookies in a can and a puzzle in a can. Yes, kids love them both, but guess what? Now I have a container. When the puzzle has been used and the cookies are gone, I can make little emergency kits in these. This is like an Altoids container, and I've used these cookie tins before. You make a hole in the top, fill it up with cotton rounds, and then you can burn it and you make char cloth, which is a fire starter. All times of year it can be cold. So look for hand warmers, look for gloves, stocking caps, and even sometimes you can find fleece scarves that you can wrap around your neck and help keep you warm because it holds your body heat in. A problem we battle in the summer is mosquitoes. If you can find the little mosquito repellent bracelets, they're like a little coil, get those. They work well. You can find citronella candles, but remember, you need to be able to smell it. If you can't smell anything, it's probably not going to be very effective. The deal with how citronella works is it overpowers your scent, and so the mosquitoes can't smell you. It's not that they don't like citronella, is that it's masking your scent. I also found these citronella incense sticks that are going to be great to stick outside, light them, and then it'll help keep mosquitoes out of the area. And something that I've used for many years are the mosquito repellent coils. You separate these, light them, they give off a little bit of smoky aroma. I've got one lit right here, and what happens is that it gives us a scent in the area that the mosquitoes don't like, and they seem to work. You can put these around on the corners of your patio, but you shouldn't use them in an enclosed area. There's lots of air flowing in granny camp, so this is safe. And remember, it is burning, and the little tip as it burns will fall off. So you want to make sure that you put it on like a tile or a plate and not on a wooden surface that could catch on fire or be damaged. So when you go to the Dollar Tree, walk up and down each aisle and think to yourself, do I need food, water, a way to cook things? Do I need some lights? Do I need a way to start a fire? Do I need a way to clean myself? Do I need first aid supplies? How about tools? And even simple shelter items, like perhaps you can find a poncho or a plastic tarp, tablecloth, or something. If you have nothing else, you need a way to keep yourself protected. I don't think that they're going to be very effective in a big stormy area, but sometimes you can find some tarps. They may not be the best, but it might be better than nothing. If you have $1 extra and you can spend to make sure that you are sheltered, then make sure you have something. Let me know what items you've discovered at the Dollar Tree that help fill your prepping categories. And if you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.